You wake up tired. You check your phone. Someone your age just got promoted. Someone else is traveling. Someone is getting married. Someone launched a startup. And suddenly you feel like you're behind in a race you don't even remember signing up for. You don't feel stupid. You don't feel lazy. You just feel lost, directionless, confused about who you are and where you're going. And the worst part? You can't explain why. Here's what most people won't tell you. Feeling lost in your 20s is not a personal failure. It is a documented psychological phase. Developmental psychologist Erik Erikson proposed that late adolescence and early adulthood revolve around a core conflict called identity versus role confusion. Before you can build a stable life, career, or relationship, your brain is trying to answer one fundamental question: who am I? If that question isn't resolved, everything else feels unstable. Career choices feel overwhelming. Relationships feel uncertain. Even small decisions feel heavy because they feel like they define your entire future. Later, psychologist Jeffrey Arnett described your 20s as a stage called emerging adulthood. In his research, he found that people between 18 and 29 consistently report 5 things: instability, exploration, self-focus, feeling in between, and a sense of possibilities. Notice something important. Instability is normal. Exploration is normal. Feeling in between is normal. You are not malfunctioning. You are transitioning. But here's where modern life complicates everything. In previous generations, identity was constrained. You inherited roles, fewer career paths, fewer lifestyle options, fewer comparisons. Today, you can be anything. And psychologically, that sounds empowering. But research shows something counterintuitive. Too much choice increases anxiety. In The Paradox of Choice, psychologist Barry Schwartz explains that when options multiply, regret multiplies. The more possible versions of your life you can imagine, the easier it is to feel like you're choosing wrong. Every decision feels permanent. Every path not taken feels like a loss. So instead of freedom, you feel paralysis. Now at social media, your brain evolved in small tribes of maybe 150 people. Now you compare yourself to thousands. Constantly. Research in social comparison theory, originally developed by Leon Festinger, shows that humans evaluate themselves relative to others. When the comparison group becomes global and curated, your brain miscalculates reality. You're not comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's real life. You're comparing it to their highlight reel. And your nervous system reacts as if you are falling behind socially, which historically meant losing status or survival security. That anxiety you feel scrolling at night? It's not weakness. It's biology misfiring in a digital environment. But identity confusion goes deeper than comparison. In your 20s, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning and impulse control, is still stabilizing. Neuroscience shows that brain maturation continues into the mid-20s. That means you're making permanent life decisions with a brain that is still refining its executive function. Of course it feels unstable. There's another layer most people ignore: meaning. In Man's Search for Meaning, psychiatrist Viktor Frankl argued that humans are not primarily driven by pleasure or power, but by meaning. When meaning is unclear, anxiety increases. Many people in their 20s chase productivity, aesthetics, money, or status, but internally they haven't defined what makes suffering worthwhile. Without meaning, even success feels empty. So you achieve something and still feel lost. That's not ingratitude. That's misalignment. Psychologist Carl Jung believed that much of early adulthood is about confronting the shadow, the parts of yourself you've ignored to fit in. Many people build identities around what is rewarded: good grades, impressive resumes, social approval. Then one day they wake up and realize they build a life that doesn't feel like them. That disorientation isn't random. It's the psyche demanding integration. So what actually works? Not motivational quotes. Not hustle culture. Not pretending you have everything figured out. Research suggests 3 evidence-based approaches help reduce this lost feeling. First, identity experimentation, but with constraint. Studies on identity development show that people who actively explore but commit to small decisions experience less anxiety than those who endlessly explore without commitment. That means instead of asking, "What should I do for the rest of my life?" ask, "What can I commit to for the next 6 months?" 6-month contracts with yourself reduce existential pressure while building clarity through action. Second, Values clarification. In acceptance and commitment therapy, developed by Stephen C., individuals are guided to define core values separate from goals. A goal is get promoted. A value is growth or creativity or service. When you anchor decisions to values instead of outcomes, uncertainty becomes tolerable. You might not know the exact career path, but you know you value learning. So any path involving learning becomes aligned. That reduces internal conflict. 3. Limit comparison inputs. Behavioral research consistently shows that reducing social media exposure improves mood and self-perception. Even small reductions, 30 minutes less per day, significantly decrease depressive symptoms in young adults. This isn't about quitting the internet. It's about protecting cognitive bandwidth while your identity stabilizes. And finally, understand this. Clarity does not come from thinking. It comes from doing. Action creates feedback. Feedback refines identity. Identity builds confidence. Confidence reduces the lost feeling. Your 20s feel chaotic because they are designed for construction. You are not supposed to feel finished. You are not supposed to feel certain. You are building psychological architecture in real time. Feeling lost is often a sign that you are thinking for yourself instead of blindly inheriting a script. The goal is not to eliminate uncertainty. It's to become someone who can tolerate it. And once you understand that, the anxiety shifts. It becomes less of a crisis and more of a process. You are not behind. You are becoming.